Welcome, everybody. We have missed you all at Interesting AF. We are back after our summer break. I think we all needed a little decompression from everything that's going on. I'm your host, Linda, and I have Elaine here with me, and we are super excited about season 2. My
Season
God, season 2. We've got multiple seasons. We were renewed by ourselves.
by ourselves.
But I think this season, what we want to do is kind of really think about bigger topics. Everything is moving forward about how we connect, how we interact at work, how we interact with our screens, how we interact with a lot of, different technologies that we have. So really excited about this season. Of course, the Doc is one of our features, and we've got some doozies that we've watched. And we've got the what the fuck meters are like almost kind of prepared for some of them. And I'll just say pop, pop, and then it will all make sense a little later. But we wanted to start this season with our hot takes. I feel like we're in an environment of everybody's giving their opinion all the time. And why not us? And these, I think we've picked our most unpopular opinions to share, and hopefully we get some discussion about said takes. So, Elaine, please tell us your first hot take or
All right.
unpopular opinion.
Yeah. This one, I'm going to go with this one first. And I know, and I'm sure some will pop into my head as we continue talking about this, because I wrote some down and was like, I know there are some like that I say all the time that did not make this list. So maybe we'll have to do another version of this another time. But as we leave summer, I'm going to start with this one. And I like to think, yes, it's an unpopular opinion, but I think a lot of people actually do agree with me. Summer fucking sucks. I hate it. It just has good PR because we didn't have to go to school, right? For 12 years, more than that, 16 years, we got summers off. We're led to believe that summer's this great fucking thing. I hate it. I hate summer. I'm so happy when it's over. Like, get the fuck out. I hate summer. Summer is overrated. Come at me.
That's all I can say. I really disagree with that. I think summer's the best. I think it's because this area has like the shittiest summer. The humidity, like in the DC area, the humidity sucks.
It's so gross.
But if my summers were spent on a beach all the time with relatively warm weather, hot, I want to say in the 80s, but you're in the water, you get hot, you jump in, all good. There was like summer love, there was like little crushes on the beach. I think it's about your experience with the summer. Like we weren't like, I was like basically just on a beach the whole time. Of course there was boredom involved, like whatever, but give me the heat over layers any day.
I can only get so comfortable by taking off so many clothes. I can always put more clothing on. I can always add more quilts. But here's the other thing. I hate, like, I love the beach. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure if I spent the entire summer by the beach, maybe I would think a little bit differently. However, It's also when it's the most crowded. Like, I hate traveling in the summer because everyone's traveling in the summer too. Like, everything's crowded. Everything's crazy. In fact, like one of my favorite, yes, it's beautiful. And like, let's take Napa Valley in Europe. Okay. Like beautiful that time of year, but Napa Valley in December is it's my favorite time to go there. Yeah. The leaves are off the vines. It's dormant, but everyone's decorated for Christmas. You have zero issues getting into any of the restaurants, any of the vineyards you want to go to. It's the least risky for fires, right? Which wildfires in California is a commonality now. Every morning there's this beautiful mist that you wake up to that's like down in the vines, and it rises and rises as the sun comes up. And it probably rains a little bit every once in a while, which means every day you're getting a rainbow in and over the vines. To me, like, Napa Valley in December and in the winter is actually, like, key. So, fuck summer. I love the beach, I do, but there are other beaches you can go to, times around the year. But I just think summer has really good PR, and that's my first hot take of the day.
All right. Well, we already disagree on this one. So that's great.
Great
Um,
success.
woo! This friendship is gonna real last. We just don't see each other in the seasons that we don't like, and it'll be fine. We
I'm
still
just
have the
listen,
fall. I know.
I run
Yeah,
hot.
and
I hate being sweaty. Like,
everybody's also much angrier when it's hotter. I
I get
will
so
say.
angry. I get so fucking angry. It's just so hot. I feel like just like, ugh, it's
Yeah,
horrible.
that okay. Listening to what you're saying, I totally understand because I definitely had a different experience. I was just on a beach the whole time and like, visiting family and craziness and not as hot. Like it's not
Yeah,
humid where I was, so it's like, a
that
little bit
helps.
better. So my first
All
hot
right,
take.
let's go.
Princess Diana wasn't all that.
Coming from you, like, I've heard you allude to this before. Linda loves her some royals. So I'm also very intrigued because you're gonna have real good proof points here.
So
All right, that is a hot take.
and I
That
will
is
say I love royal families because it's a very interesting political structure and how
totally.
they deal with, politics and all that. All this to say is that she had a very specific public persona that she crafted. And people think that that's who she was, and it's not. And
Ah,
there's a lot of books around there where she knew she weaponized the media against the royal family in a way that served her, but in the end, kind of like invaded her life in a way that wasn't healthy and wasn't safe.
obviously.
And so I think like and I think this of like most public figures. We either demonize them so much or we like canonize them like so much. Like there's no people are still people. People do things for reasons. People do things for motivations that are sometimes corrupt. I'm not saying she didn't love her parent like her kids. I'm not saying she wasn't a good person, but what she crafted was specific. And
Can you
also,
can you blame her though after kinda what
so
they did to her and what the media did to her while she was with
So,
Charles?
but she invited the media in the way
Okay.
that like it came in after.
You
She's
would
the
know
one,
better than I would. I don't
she
follow the
did that interview. She did that interview that then like they said they coerced
Yes.
her into it. Remember the
Yes.
BBC interview? But she's the one who went to the media. She
Mm,
originally was like, "Hey, this is what's happening," and so which was unheard of.
smart.
It's exactly like what Meghan and Harry did with the Oprah interview. They kind of tried to do the same thing. They're really living the Diana playbook, but it's not working for them, right? Diana did it well. Diana really knew how to,
The revenge dress,
yeah,
the
exactly.
dance with John Travolta.
Exactly. She knew
Yeah,
exactly what to do, and I think to a
yeah,
certain degree, it's like very smart PR. And I think people need to watch that. They need to see where she could have been demonized because she also had affairs.
yeah,
She also had affairs. But she wasn't demonized for it like Charles was, right? And fundamentally, Charles, I'm saying, but he stayed with the same woman, right? Like in the end, like he still like didn't like he
yeah,
was with one person. And I'm not again not condoning cheating at all or anything
where's
like
the
that.
truth?
Like,
No,
but I think
these are just proof points to your hot take.
yeah, and I think also it was the first time that they really understood how royal marriages worked.
Mm, okay,
Because I don't think Charles and Diana had an abnormal royal marriage. It was what it was, but it was public.
right.
And that was the difference. So all this to say is that I think she did great for causes. I personally think that's what Meghan and Harry should be doing. They should be going to the humanitarian thing. They shouldn't be doing this like side hustle money thing.
Strawberry jam.
strawberry jam that they're doing, but they should focus on the humanitarian philanthropic thing because that's what they're good at that. They're really good at
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
And so that's my hot take. And also that's my hot take as to why Prince William and Harry have different experiences with their mother.
Interesting.
William was his mother used him as a sounding board for everything. He knew everything
Wow.
about her life. And Harry was a lot smaller and he didn't know. And so he kind of idolizes his mother because of that. And William has a much like
More
more
human.
realistic, more human
Yeah.
version of his mother
Yeah.
than, and so you see this in how they like invoke her memory.
Yeah.
Like if like William seems like he's like I was in, like he like was at school when all those interviews came out. Like his teachers had to take away, like he was mercilessly like yeah,
Mercifully? Mercil
no,
merc
no, not
mercilessly.
merciful, the
What?
opposite of mercifully. Mercilessly? He was what that word, bullied,
Keep it in, keep it in, keep it in.
bullied for that. So I think that's my hot take. My hot take in the end is Princess Diana wasn't all that, but which levels up to the concept of public figures they're still humans. They're still
Yes.
people and they do things for certain reasons. And we
And
shouldn't
sometimes they're not always the best, most wholesome reasons.
exactly. And also we shouldn't demonize, like people do things for different reasons and we should all just chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
a good one.
that's my hot
That's a good
take.
one. Alright. My next one, I'm gonna preface by saying, like, New York City is one of my favorite cities on the planet. This is not a knock against New York City. I grew up not far outside of it. I would live there. We go 3 to 4 times a year at least. I love New York. Some of the best Italian food outside of Italy is in Providence, Rhode Island, not New York City. I said what I said.
I have no opinion whatsoever because I have not been to Providence, Rhode Island, nor Italy for that matter.
Oof. We gotta
I've been,
change that.
I've been to Italy.
Really?
Which is, yeah, I've been to Italy a couple times. Yeah.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I was trying to joke. I was like,
You got me. You got me good.
I've not been to Providence, Rhode Island. So I can't, you are the expert here.
So,
Why?
there's a very big, and of course, New York has a huge Italian population. So does Providence, Rhode Island. Like, Providence, Rhode Island is this weird pocket in New England where, so like Connecticut, the state where I
Yeah.
grew up, half the state, as you get closer to New York, our big debate with sports is like Mets, Yankees, Jets, Giants. Like, we're New York, Bedroom County. Then you get up to like northern Connecticut, you get up by Hartford, you get closer to Massachusetts, Red Sox Nation. Rhode Island, all Red Sox Nation. Massachusetts, all Red Sox Nation. Except for this pocket in Providence, Rhode Island, because Joe DiMaggio was the first Italian American star in Major League Baseball, and he played for the Yankees. And so I was so confused. I dated a guy from Providence, Rhode Island for like 2-3 years. So I spent quite a bit of time there. And I was always so confused when I would see all these Yankees hats. I'm like, we're in Rhode Island. This is like the heart of Red Sox Nation. What is going on? And it's because they grew up as these Italian Americans or some like fresh off the boat Italians watching Joe DiMaggio, who became their hero, and he played for the Yankees. So there's this like weird pocket of Yankees fans there. But there's also like literally the most amazing Italian food you've ever had. Federal Hill, which is like there's not a double yellow line there. It is painted in the Italian flag. It is just like, it's not very big, but it's this street of it's like Arthur Avenue, Arthur Avenue from the Bronx, but like much bigger now. More like sit down restaurants, but also these like markets and bakeries and little squares with just the most amazing food. And to me, one of the biggest proof points of this is if you asked Frank Sinatra his favorite Italian restaurant in the United States, it was Camille's in Providence, Rhode Island, and it
Well,
is
when
so good.
Frank says it, when
Right,
Frank says it.
right. Yeah,
Interesting. Well,
yeah.
now we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go to Providence, Rhode Island, if Camille's is still around.
Providence, I should actually look up if it is, but it is a really cute, fun, tiny little city. Yeah, Camille's is still there. Oh, yeah, it's still there, all right.
All right. Well
It's
then,
also the oldest Italian restaurant in Rhode Island. It's been open since 1914.
all right.
Like, some of my favorite, like, Italian festivals I've ever been to are in Providence. You walk down Federal Hill, like, the best cannolis I've ever had. This is a very, like, specific Rhode Island food, called Wimpy Skimpies, which is basically like a pizza type thing that's very good. Like, it's just really, like, some of the best. There was a restaurant, one of the best Italian dishes I've ever had in my life was at a place called Mediterraneo on Federal Hill. I don't think they're still open, but it's, like,
Okay.
next to, Camille's.
Okay.
But, like, I really like, truly yeah, it's permanently closed, unfortunately.
Oh, bummer.
It closed in 2015, so it's been a minute, but I love New
We
York.
can't.
They have
We can't even blame the pandemic for that one.
I know,
Damn it.
I know. Like, uh, New York, of course, has incredible food from the 3 Michelin star level down to street food. New York City is one of the greatest food cities on the goddamn planet. They do have some of the best Italian food outside of Italy. However, my vote goes to Providence, Rhode Island,
All right.
which
Hot
is my hot
take.
take.
Hot take. I feel like I need to do something food related now, which I don't. I feel like I don't have like. Oh, I don't know if this is a hot take from like a food related standpoint, but
All right.
you should always have more than 3 liquids at a time.
We are drink monsters, like drink goblins for sure.
I have to have a water, a caffeine style beverage, and something for fun. Like there's just or more. And sometimes I have an emotional support yogurt. Like I just need multiple containers that I will potentially spill or not spill at all times. That's
I
my
wish
hot take.
I wish I could argue with you, but I can't because, like, I currently have my regular ice water, I have my liquid IV water, and then I've got my cup that I'm gonna put a tiny little Dr. Pepper in about an hour and a half.
There you
So,
go.
I wish I could be mad at you. I've got the 30-ounce water bottle that I've constantly got around me because apparently we're just never hydrated enough. So that always is one, right? That goes without saying. Then I've got
Goes
coffee in the
without saying.
morning, but, like, I need my liquid I need my two different waters.
Of course.
So,
Of
I don't
course.
think
You
yeah,
can
this is our
never.
reminder to hydrate, actually, so
It's
well
like
done.
just hydrate, please drink. Hey, everybody listening, have a sip of water,
Yeah,
drink some
hydrate.
water, hydrate. I mean, I don't think it's food related, but I do think it's a hot take where people are not having enough beverages at a time because we need a little joy in life.
I do love the GIFs and the videos and the reels of, like, when you can tell American tourists are in Europe, and it's because 'cause we're just chugging, like, 3-liter bottles of water at a time because I just don't drink as much water over there, and neither do they.
Yeah. Well, my European father in law was like, your kids really drink a lot of water. I was like, okay.
It's good for them.
So that's how much
Yeah.
that's how much I've like, imbued my hydration to my children. They always have their water bottle. I always have my water bottle at
Well,
least.
their schools make them always have their water bottles, which, like, was not a thing when we were kids.
But
I don't remember drinking water ever.
but apparently my friend who has like a kid in public school is like they're not allowed to bring a water bottle anymore. They have to have a water fountain at school
Jesus Christ. I don't
because
even wanna know
apparently
why.
they're losing them too much.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay,
So
whatever.
so yeah. So that's my food related hot take. I don't think it really needs that much explanation
No.
because we need water. Like
Yes.
you need liquid.
Yes.
Please drink. Please drink up.
Although there is a great I love Adam Conover. and his show, Adam Ruins Everything, is
Yeah,
truly, like, one of the greatest shows ever. I
so
wish it would
good.
come back, and he does one on hydration that makes me feel so much better about myself because, like, the idea that I would have to drink half my body weight and then some if you're working out, which, like, in training to walk a marathon, I have to drink a lot of fucking water.
Yay. So over the summer, we decided to like pick up some really weird, like stuff, like from an exercise point of view. Like Elaine is walking the New York City Marathon,
Fucking right. Yay. I'm gonna
and
try.
I will be running, and all of this is for a good cause, by the way. Oh, that's it's a goal for a cause. Like it's all about cancer research, and I'm running 100 miles in October for the American Cancer Society. To which, by the way, I asked ChatGPT. I'm like, so can you write me a plan on how I'm going to do this? And I read it, and they were like, I was like, oh shit, what have I done? What have I done?
3 miles a day. You can
Three
do it.
miles a day. That's all I can. That's all I've got to do. Like a 5K pretty much every day. We're gonna
Yeah,
do it. We're gonna do it.
you
I
can
think.
walk some of it. There's no shame in walking.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's
Got this.
that we decided this summer to be like, yeah, let's do this.
Get our shit
Let's
together.
let's get our shit together from an exercise point of view.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on to another hot take.
All right. I'm going we're getting real controversial with this one. This will
On we
not be the
go.
first. No, this is not the first time Linda's heard this one from me. I talk about this one all the time. And I'm going to preface this by saying this is going to be a non-political statement. I don't give a shit what side of the aisle you're on. Forget it. Like, just leave it at the door for 1 fucking second, please.
1 second.
1 second. Donald Trump is president, even like the first time and or the second time, because of the writers' strike of 2007.
A fucking men. The
I
first
said,
time I heard this hot take, I was like, this is not, this is analysis, is what it is. It's
yeah,
not a hot take. It's political analysis, even though we're saying it's not a political statement. It's an analysis of the
in the
political
category
environment of
yes,
it's of the political environment, which is fucking spot on.
yes. So
Prove your work.
my theory on this is, again, as I mentioned before, I grew up not far from New York City. He's been someone that's been a fixture of the news my entire life, and for most of us, it's not just a New York City thing. However, it's like it's just always there. Or like if you go into New York City, you see Trump Tower, you see all the different real estate stuff that always goes on. Like literally growing up, it was like the Dursts had one side of the Avenue of the Americas, the Trumps had the other. Like those two families very prevalent throughout my whole life. So, everyone knows who he is. But he was on paper, he was worth a bunch of money, he was just this real estate mogul guy, fine. But to me, like his voice was not as loud as had been at one time. Enter the writers' strike, and yes, this show did start before the writers' strike, but I feel like it became even more of a focal point because the writers' strike comes in 2007. All scripted TV goes off the air. Enter The Apprentice, The Kardashians, and reality television. And everybody becomes obsessed with it. And rightfully so. Like it's fucking good TV. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It was a really
like
good show.
reality. Go ahead.
And I think we didn't have social media then.
No.
Like, so
No,
nobody
the
could go.
iPhone the iPhone came out in 2007.
See, that's what so we didn't, the only thing people could do was watch either movies. I think Netflix was just starting.
Still on DVDs though. You still had to like send
I
DVDs.
loved my red little envelope.
Oh, me too.
I missed the red little envelope. Oh,
What was the total sidebar? What do you remember the first movie you watched? The
on
first movie
Netflix?
you ever
No,
watched on Netflix?
I don't. Do you?
I do. Oddly
Really?
enough, I do. I do. They were so for like what was it, like $7 a month, I got the 2 DVDs unlimited,
Yep.
but they doing it so when you signed up, they automatically sent you this movie called The Way,
Okay.
which is so fucking good. It's Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez, and it is about Martin Sheen. Yeah, yes, yes. It's when he goes and walks the
You
de
know,
Santiago
yeah,
in
Chills.
Spain.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the first one I saw, but Chills. That is such a good
I
one.
made I made the mistake of making my husband watch this movie while I was pregnant, knowing we were gonna have a boy. And he was like, "Why would you do that to me?" Like, he was a wreck. It is such a beautiful movie, and I don't think I ever would have seen it if Netflix wasn't like, "Cool, you're signing up, we're gonna give you this deal, but we're gonna pick your first movie." And I
Mm.
watched it, and it's amazing. And then the second movie, the movie I rented with that one was V for Vendetta, which is another fucking great movie.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that movie, and we can have a second hot
Love.
takes about that one, but that movie
Okay.
I just thought was too on the nose. Anyway, yes. So
I love it.
I agree. And somebody that I was talking to said that what The Apprentice did for Donald Trump was give him the media experience before his political experience, which actually helped him a lot more than like regular candidates
Of
because
course.
it allowed him to understand how to talk to people and how to like get the attention of the media, of all of that. And so he understood that so well that he was able to parlay it into politics so much easier as well. And that's because
Yeah.
of The Apprentice and therefore because of the Brighter Strike.
And he's always been politically involved, right? Like, he was a big political contributor for a long time. I think he's always wanted to run for president his whole life. But I this is my, like, hot take theory that, like, he catapulted and, like you said, like, his voice was back because he became the host of the number 1 show reality competition show for several years.
Yep.
I mean, he to trademark the phrase "you're fired," like,
Yeah.
that's insanity.
Yeah.
So it was a huge success, and so I my hot take is that the writer's strike of 2007 is the reason that Donald Trump became president in was able
I
to get back on the political scene and then eventually obviously became president in 2016.
I
So,
100% agree with this. I personally think it's analysis as opposed to hot take, but
yeah,
to each their own.
yes.
So yeah. So mine's going to be a little bit my next take is going to be a little bit more less highbrow, I guess. I think cursing in front of children isn't that big of a deal.
Oh, okay. I like this one.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Only when they know how to use it properly. Like, it's not in order to insult anybody, it's not like, dropping an F-bomb sometimes. Like, my kids know how to curse, but they don't curse outside the house unless it's, like, just
I love
us.
it.
They, like, curse, like, very specifically, and then I'm like, "You okay." Watching a four-year-old, like, drop something and go, "Oh, fuck," is the best thing. Just
Leave
brings
I would have to leave the room because, like, I would laugh at it, and that's also teaching them the wrong thing.
Yeah, well, I was like, "What did you just say?" She's like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that sucked, right?" And, like, I've gotten over, like, laughing, but, like, sometimes, like, there's, like, it's just I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be. I think the bigger concept is, like, people equate cursing and respect.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Some like as long as I believe, and this is my hot take, maybe that cursing isn't all that bad as long as it's done in a specific context. And it's like when you're like fucking shit, like you're not like talking to your boss and saying
Right,
fucking
right.
shit, right? Like and you're not insulting people and you're not doing it like you're doing it in a specific way. But I think that kids learning that from their parents isn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. That's my hot take there
Well, and
on
I have
kids.
friends who will swear around their kids, but have taught them, like, "Hey, those are mommy and daddy words, like, those are adult words." The same way, like, my child knows he can't take a swig of my wine because that's mommy's drink. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
and you're not doing it all the time. It's just, every household is different, every family decision is different, and, like, you know,
Yeah, and I
you
think
just
as long
teach
as you're
them.
kind.
Yeah.
Exactly, as long as you teach them it's, like, kind and, like, basically we go you can say them at home or you can say them when it's just us, but you don't say it in front of other people. You don't use them to insult people. And that's, like, the parameters. Like, parenting is all about boundaries, people. Like,
Yes.
that's all you
My
gotta.
boundaries might be different than yours and
Indeed.
vice versa. So don't try to tell me what my boundaries are, and I'm not gonna
Ex
tell you what yours are. But yeah,
Indeed.
I think and I do think that's a hot take, because I think a lot of people would disagree with you,
Yep.
but I think it's becoming less of a hot take because I think people are realizing, like, swearing is not that big of a deal. Um And it also becomes to me, it becomes one of those things where it's like, if your parents are constantly telling you not to do something, you absolutely want to do it. So it, like, destigmatizes it a little bit for them to know it earlier and know how to properly use it. It also means they're just gonna be really fucking funny when they grow up because their
They're
timing
already
is gonna be epic.
epic. I don't
So
epic. Okay, again, sidebar. I was an ugly baby. I just was
no.
there. Yes, there are no pictures of me until I'm 1.5, and that is on
No.
purpose. I am not lying. There's only one person who thought I was a cute baby. Everybody else, my dad was mortified. My mom was like, "What the fuck have I given birth to?" Like it was horrible. And my kids know this story. And so I have to preface, and so yeah, it's hilarious, fucking hilarious. The last thing my grandfather ever told me before he had a stroke was, "You've gotten prettier." So it's lore. It's fucking family lore, everybody. That's why I have such an interesting personality.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so I listen to Spotify's DJ. I use it a lot, I think. But the fucking like shade it throws me. It's like, "You've listened to this, like you're in the top, like you listen to the song a lot, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Dude, why the drive by? Like, I mean, leave me alone." And then at some point I was telling my son, I was like, "DJ Spotify is so mean." He's like, "Because you were ugly?" I was like, "Well done, sir. Well done." Blammo. It was it was like it was so funny.
The timing, man.
So
Comedy is
yeah,
all timing.
comedy is all timing. So I think I agree. I don't think it's as big of a deal, though 100% agree. Raise your kids as you'd like. I'm not saying this is parenting it. Please note that this is not parenting advice. But yeah, that's my hot take on the kids. So um
That's a good
that's
one.
yeah. So
I could throw a ch since, you went off the cuff with the food one, I will do an off the cuff one, um, based on parenting, just based on our own experience. You can take it
yeah.
as advice or not. Uh, it's a terrifying thing to travel with young children. I cannot recommend doing as much as humanly possible, especially before they can move on their own. Like, all the trips we were forced to take because COVID canceled them or bumped them now with like that we were supposed to take before we had a child, and then we had a child, and the next thing we knew, we were taking a 14-month-old on several international trips. Um, we do not regret them at all. Yes, they were tough, but I cannot recommend it enough because now, like, just the things that his eyes have been open to, whether that's food, culture, language, just general understanding of the world is, uh, we never could have taught that otherwise. So it sounds really hard, and I also know we're fortunate enough to be able to afford to do that, uh, but don't let the fear of the unknown prevent you from traveling with your children, child, yourself, whatever.
100% agree. I think that travel has the ability to teach children adaptability.
Yeah.
in a
And
way that
yourself.
and yourself in a way that they cannot in a way that you cannot fathom in their real life. Because
It becomes
mostly,
a
like,
fabric of their being.
exactly. They're like they've learned to roll with the punches. This summer, we had a tent, and I've like just as Elaine, I've traveled with my kids pretty well. Like it's not as much as I would like, but because my husband kind of is like, "Oh, they're too small." I'm like, "That's when you want to take them." Like,
Mhm.
and also it was COVID, so we couldn't go and all that stuff. But they've been traveling to Europe pretty much since they were like 2, 3. So it's pretty it's when they were pretty young, right on the tail end of COVID. And big fan of that. And this summer, as we were leaving, we had a 10-hour delay in an airport with 2 kids under 5.
Mm.
They did magnificently.
Yeah, amazing.
They
Amazing.
did so well. Of course, they're running, they're screaming. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, probably annoying the shit out of people. But they did well. They weren't crying. They weren't being annoying. They weren't. We didn't like put them in front of a screen the whole time. They made friends with other kids. The concept of travel teaches you that sometimes the world doesn't work like you think it does.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the way you are exposed that it does.
When you can't
And
control everything.
and you can't control everything. And I think we've become so scared of other people, of inconveniencing other people because kids
Yes.
are not feeling good. That's not fair. Kids are part of our lives. Like, we're not in the be seen and not heard like thing.
The
People are
Milford Man.
here. Yeah, it's like people are here. Like, kids are here. Kids are part of our lives. We're not supposed to hide them and like hide when they have a tantrum or whatever. Sometimes kids cry. Sometimes most of the things that people seen, like people lose their shit, are adults in trouble.
Yes.
It's not kids. Kids
Yes.
usually, like, you walk around and you calm them down. You can figure out how to. Yes, there's sometimes like some really big tantrums, whatever, but I've seen more adults break down in travel than I've seen
Yes.
children. And I have
99
traveled a fucking ton.
There's a 99% chance that the kids didn't ask to be dragged through the airport. Like, this is a trip that the parents planned,
Yeah,
or you have to go somewhere. So,
yeah,
yeah. Alright,
agreed.
so that was my added off the cuff hot take, which
Which
I don't know
actually
how
get
to take that is, but
I think it's a hot take because a lot of people are so scared of what people think of their kids and think tantrums define how they parent.
yeah,
And it's
that's
not.
so fair.
I think how defines what you parent is how you react to the tantrum, not that the
Yeah.
tantrum is happening.
Yeah.
That's maybe a small hot take on that. But my other hot take, which is linked to this, not all opinions are made for public consumption.
Well, oh, fuck, yeah.
We don't have to post about everything. And yes, it's rich coming from people that have a fucking podcast about essentially opinions. And it's a public, it's a episode about hot takes, but not everything is made for public consumption. And I mean this also with people that post videos about other people or other people's reactions. I think there's a line there where it's like
Yeah,
if people are like breaking the law or things like that, then yeah. But like somebody being unhappy about something, that's like within reason, right? There's always like how you do something. But like, we don't need to be posting like stories about people on air, since we're talking about airplanes, about how they didn't want to switch seats with you. Like, we don't need to have the collective internet talk about how many flights are there in the world? Millions. Why the
yeah.
fuck do we need to be talking about one person that didn't want to switch seats with somebody else? Yes, that happens, but people are allowed not to switch seats with people. Like,
Also, you don't know what that person's story is. They could
yeah,
they could have a horrible GI situation and need to be near the aisle. Like,
exactly.
someone could be grieving and, like, you just never know what people are going through, and then to put them on the internet, like, without their consent is, like,
Yeah.
just I fucking hate it here.
Yeah, I think it's horrible, and I don't, and I think, like, in this attention economy where everybody wants like a piece of the pie
In a
and
reaction.
everybody on a reaction, not every again, really rich for this
I know.
podcast episode, by the way. But you know what? This is our podcast. We get to
And there are
choose.
some hot takes that I didn't put on here because I know they don't need to be public for public
Exact
consumption.
see? Exactly. We could have been worse, everybody. We could have been worse.
Yeah.
And I just think that everybody needs to chill out. Not everybody we don't need to, like, constantly be on everybody's side about shit. Like,
Yeah.
I also like the "Am I the asshole?" Like, readings of things, but, like, sometimes I'm like, why aren't you talking to a friend?
Right.
What is making you so fearful of connecting to your friends to talk about this? Because you should be getting advice from people that know the situation, because no matter what, any posts are leaving out crucial information to make
Of
the
course.
person look better. So that's my hot take, that not everything is meant for public consumption. Not every opinion that you have is meant to
If
go be
nothing
out
else, it's
there.
a good reminder, if nothing else.
Yeah, you don't need to post everything. You don't need to say everything that goes through
Or
your head
comment.
or comment.
So my last hot take is lighthearted and
Love
very
it.
specific. Um, a big Seinfeld fan. I think it's the greatest sitcom ever to grace the television and ever will be. I quote it at least once a day. Something happens in my life at least once a day where I can reference Seinfeld. I don't think the series finale was that bad. Okay? I don't think it was that bad. People hate it.
Perfect. It was
People
perfect.
fucking hate it. They hate it. It did not
That's the whole point of the show.
it did not get the reception that I think it deserves. It brings back they found a way to perfectly bring back some of the greatest side characters in television history. It shows what fucking assholes they all are the whole time. They're all just assholes.
Yeah.
Like, them
And
being the
they
main characters.
and then justice is served in a
Justice.
way.
And they close the entire show with the same line they opened the entire show with. Like, the first line in the pilot is about the sweater being 2 buttons or 3. And it's the last line of the show where he's like, haven't we had this conversation before? I mean, it is like, I'm not saying it's perfect. I don't understand the hate for it because they got everyone to come back. Babu Bot, Jackie Childs, Putty, like the O. Henry candy bar heiress. I mean, just character after character, just running the soup Nazi, like just running through the greatest like side characters in the history of television, just to show everybody what assholes they are. Like George's mother passing out at the end, like fainting at the end with the bird. I mean, it's just like all of it's all of it's amazing.
I remember
And
watching that episode live.
me too.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious. I was much younger, but I still in my much older age now find it hilarious, and I don't think it was that bad, and people hated it. It did not get a good reception.
I mean, I thought it was like, I think series finales in general, like, are very, like,
Hard.
controversial,
They're
right?
hard.
Right? They're hard. How I Met Your Mother, the worst one. I think you don't watch
Terrible.
that show, but that was the worst series finale I've ever
So bad.
seen in my it just makes me so angry. But I remember watching Seinfeld, and I didn't really watch Seinfeld that much, so, like, I watched it from time to time, so I, like,
Mhm.
vaguely knew, like, what was like, I mean, Seinfeld doesn't really have a plot in that sense, like, it just is
That's the
character
best that's the best
development.
part.
Yeah.
It's a show about
And
nothing.
so I remember watching this, and I'm like, what a perfect ending. Just them in a cell at the end, paying for
It
their crimes.
it left it open for them to come back, which was a rumor for a long time.
Yep.
Um, so I don't that's my lighthearted hot take. I don't think this Seinfeld series finale was bad.
I loved it. And I have to say that one of my favorite episodes of comedians, like the coffee comedians,
Comedians
when
in
the
cars getting coffee.
getting coffee is with him and Julia Louis Dreyfus. It's like one of my I watch it constantly because I just love them together. Like, you
They
see they became, like, really good friends.
She's the inspiration for my name. We know this.
Yes,
Like,
we do
Elaine
know
is
this.
like Elaine Bennis is one of the and that show was so ahead of its time with so many things. I mean, she is such a strong female character that just was not written in the show started in what, like 1989?
Yep.
Um, and they were, like the episode about, not that there's anything wrong with that, like talking about the questionably being gay or not. Like, I mean, just like some of the things that they tackled were just things that people didn't talk about in TV yet. And so to me, it's even more groundbreaking of a show than it gets credit for.
I agree. It's the
Um,
comic and the line, right? The comic and the
yes,
line. Remember we did an
absolutely.
episode. Go listen to season 1 and comics in the line. Little plug there.
That was one of our first episodes, wasn't it?
It was. It
It was early
was.
on.
Yeah, and it was off of
Jerry Seinfeld
Jerry
quote.
Seinfeld quote. Yeah.
Yeah, so I still I don't think every episode of the show stands the test of time already, like, they're floppy disks and payphones and, like, that stuff is totally gonna be lost, but, like, and of course, like, my love of New York is its own character in the show. Um, I think I didn't think it was that bad.
And I agree with you. I again, not even like being a person that watched the show, like I thought it was like the perfect like it's almost anticlimactic, which is like what made it
Yeah,
so perfect. It was like
it's hard to end a show. It's really hard to end a
hard,
show.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think there are some shows that have done an absolutely perfect I think Breaking Bad is one of the most exceptional ways to tie up a show. Even though they're now coming back for a 4th season, if Ted Lasso never came back, like, I think they tied that up beautifully. You and I both know The Good Place is one of the best examples. They knew the show was only gonna be 4 seasons. The way they ended it, I just got goosebumps because I
Because
just
I think of like Chidi's quote where he's
yes,
like, "We all go back to the ocean," and you're
I'll go
like,
back to the ocean.
"Oh,
Like, it's just there are several examples of shows that have done a really good
30
job.
30 Rock is a really good ending of the show.
30 Rock's a good one. I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine was pretty
Nine's
good
also a
too,
good one. Yeah,
Sopranos, make a decision. Like, don't make me have
exactly.
to make a decision.
Exactly. I mean, we need
Give me the
closure.
ending.
That wasn't closure. That was an interpretation of closure.
Yeah, give me
Um,
the ending. But
yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
lighthearted hot take. Any
And
more hot takes for you?
I mean, I have a couple, but I think, maybe we do another one like
Alright.
halfway through this season and then be like, "Hey, unpopular takes 2," because I think we're really excited about this season. We're going to have obviously 6 degrees of Elaine again because obviously she went to very cool places and met famous people while Linda met zero. Although I did meet a
No, you
comic
did.
I met a comic now that, so that's one. I mean, she's not very famous, but still, I met her. So that's one thing. But still, obviously, we're
You
going to
did.
talk about that.
Linda has, like, a thread of text where even just, what, 2 weeks ago, I was like, "I've been in New York City for 4 seconds, and I've already seen Hank Azaria.
And I was like,
FYI."
what? I was like, fuck you.
Ah,
That literally, I think that was what I responded. There
kidding?
was a curse word in
You were
there.
like, "Of fucking course you did." I was
Of
sitting at
course
my
I did.
cocktail with my cousin, and, like, fucking
Oh,
Hank
yeah.
Azaria walked right
Of
by.
course. So we are going to be doing, that. We're going to be talking about AI and like friendships and all of that. So really excited. But of course, as everybody knows, as you're listening to us, next episode is The Doc is In, and we need to give you closure on the Pope, the documentary on the Pope. So there's going to be the second one, and we saved it, if you remember, because Elaine was able to go to Italy.
Yes.
And so she's going to kind of bring in, her impressions of the country as well. So if you remember, it's the Pope, 2000 years history of the Pope, and we're going to do the last 3 episodes, and we will do that episode next week. So come prepared, or don't watch it before. Watch it before, whichever, but just watch it for Liam Neeson and his epically lovely voice. So. And on that note, thank you so much again for joining us for season 2. It's going to be so great. And Elaine, take us out.
Stay interesting.